everybody, Mariana with Three Peaks Classroom. Today is day 2 of my Canadian Black History Month series where I'm going to show you 20 different books that you can use in your classroom to teach about Canadian Black History Month. Today's book is called The Patchwork Path. Now this story is brand new to me, but as soon as I read the synopsis, I knew I had to have this story. On the back it says that Hannah is a young girl on a southern plantation. She's a slave. And when her papa says that it's time to run for freedom, she's scared. But she has something precious, something that her and her mother helped her sew before she died. And it's a patchwork quilt. And the patterns on the quilt offer clues as a guide that she will need to escape to the Underground Railroad and get to Canada. So as soon as I read that, I knew I had to have this story in my classroom. And what's amazing about this story is that on the very first page of the story, it talks about the clues in the quilt, and then every subsequent page afterwards goes into detail about that clue. What I found really interesting too is that the quilts were actually used to communicate about the Underground Railroad orally from grandmother to mother to daughter. And I thought that we can make a really nice connection from that experience, the oral traditions, the oral storytelling, to Indigenous cultures as well, where they also practiced oral storytelling. So of course, naturally, what you can do with your classroom after reading this story, The Patchwork Path, is you can make your own classroom quilt. Now granted, you could do it with actual fabric, but if you want to save yourself some time, you can also cut out a piece of square paper for each of your students, and they can draw symbols and use different colors to create a piece of quilt, a patch, that represents who they are, and then together you can combine them to make your own classroom quilt. So one final reason why I love this story and why I'm going to be including it in my Canadian Black History Month resources is that they talk about a church in this story, and the church actually really does exist right now, present day. It's the first African Baptist church in Savannah, Georgia, and it is the oldest black church in North America. And the reason why it's really interesting is that it was actually built by slaves who were allowed to work on the church after their hard day's work was done. But they secretly built this Underground Railroad as they were building the foundations of the church, which I thought was really interesting. So a little piece of history there right in the story. All right, so I hope you enjoyed my day 2 recommendation of The Patchwork Path of my Canadian Black History Month series. If you missed yesterday's recommendation, I did talk about Viola Desmond Won't Be Budged and an activity that you can do along with that story as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe so you can stay tuned and catch all of my recommendations for the month of February. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Bye!